Green hair?
Yeah.
Cool.
I forgot what the term is. They just stick it in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, kind of like a Kraken. Cool.
Yes, kind of like a Kraken, yeah. And your outfit, like,
Yeah,
it's like on point.
Nerd reactor, roll out.
So, Lana.
Yes.
Ruby.
Yes.
Kraken teenager.
Yes.
And you used to be a teenager.
Yes.
So, has that helped you with preparing for this role? Because you've done a lot of high school roles,
Yeah, I
right?
have.
Yeah, so.
I think always, like, as an actor, like, at least for me, like, I pull from, like, my own personal experiences when I do a character. But I think I've done a lot of high school roles. So, and I have, you know, cousins that are in high school and college. And so I think I, like, pull from that. Like, I've done a lot of, like, young adult roles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit, slipping into that feels kind of like second nature.
Yeah.
But then I also like pull from like, you know, my younger cousins and stuff.
You take from them, it's like, oh, what's the juice now in high school?
Yeah.
Nice. Annie, so you get to play a mermaid, and I was wondering if that was like a dream for you ever since you were a little girl.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Like I remember my parents have this cottage in Canada, and I remember sitting on a rock at the cottage, just like willing myself to turn into a mermaid every single summer, like for days and days every single summer, and it didn't work. But this is kind of like the second best thing.
Second best thing, yeah. She just comes to this school in Oceanside, already popular.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can like relate to that with you, like your past life where you come around like, yeah, you know,
Oh, man,
everybody
no.
loved me.
No, I wish, man. I wish I had that when I was in high school, that confidence of just like, I'm here, like, do something about it. No, I identify so much more with Ruby in that, like, not quite feeling comfortable in my skin and not quite knowing where to fit in. And then I found all the theater nerds, and I was like, there I am.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that.
Ruby, Kraken, Ocean Story. So what was the conception in creating that? Like, I want to take this project there.
Well, this was an original pitch by some writers that had come into the studio about 7 years ago. And it was a story of the Gillman family and being a sea monster family living on land. And then as time goes through development, we start pulling focus. And as we started pulling focus, it was really Ruby's story. And the excitement that generated around everyone at the studio was that this was the first time we could have a female titled character in a DreamWorks film. And we wanted to give her a journey, a hero's journey, you know, that we would have given any of the guys before. So the opportunity really came with building that scale and that scope of this adventure of a girl who goes from just hiding as a teenager to being a kaiju princess at the end of the film.
Mm-hmm. And Ruby's a character that the movie's all about just being comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
And for you, like, let's say you finish the role, does that help you in how you handle yourself, like in real life?
Oh, that's so interesting. That's
Yeah.
a good question. I've never thought about that. I think after every project that I finish, I do have a sense of like pride and accomplishment from each project, because to be completely honest, like having a job in this industry is it's an honor. It's not guaranteed, you know. I work like job for job. And so I think I do have a sense of like pride after filming anything that I do. But I think specifically with Ruby Gillman, like I was very, very honored to work with DreamWorks, period. And then I was very honored to play like such an endearing, relatable character. And so to me, that it's a big like career highlight for me, I would say.
I'm not sure if this is a spoiler because in the trailer it does tease.
Oh yeah, the trailer.
Chelsea is mermaid, kind of. There's something sinister, right? So
Yes.
for you playing that, what was that like? The challenge for? Is it something like you enjoy, like just being kind of like that sinister side?
Yeah, this is the first time I played anyone like evil.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really like this. This feels really good. So now I'm just like on an evil train. I just only want to play evil characters. It was really fun.
And the character, I don't know if you get to have any input on the designs of just with her just being kind of like the most popular mermaid of all area with the red hair and all that.
Yeah, I didn't. It was so cool to see. Like, all you have is the script, which changed basically every time I went in to record. There had been a change in the script. And I think it was maybe on my second recording that I saw an image of what Chelsea was going to look like. But then you don't really see anything until the final product. And it's so beautiful. Like, the animation in this movie is so gorgeous. And the animators have added like so many layers to the story and the humor.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so cool to go in after 16 hours of recording alone in a booth and be like, oh, this is the movie.
Did you get to have any input on like the design of Ruby, especially with the just like how many tentacles should this character have?
No, they don't want my input. Like, we have actual professional artists that know exactly how to animate. I didn't have any say in like her like visually, but I also don't necessarily like think I want say in that, because I'll leave that up to the professional artists at DreamWorks who are really good at character design.
Oh yeah, and the movie deals with high school drama and boy crush. So for you as a director, like, how do you channel that with like trying to capture that on the screen?
Yeah, we have great storyboard artists, and also our actors. I keep thinking of Liza Koshy, who plays Margot, and Jabuki Young-White, who plays Connor. The opportunity was so great for us because they brought so much energy and so much sort of like sparkle to those roles that when we got back to the studio and stuff, the animators were just so excited. Margot was a thrill to animate for them. And the part for Connor was he loves Ruby, even though she might not know it, for who she is. And he's just got this heart, and every girl at the studio was in love with him. But every time he would speak, they would just melt. So it was really an opportunity. And Lana, who plays Ruby, she was able to keep this vulnerability and insecurity, but have comedic timing, within the moments and stuff that really made it exciting.
And there is a part where your character changes. I'm not going to say into what, but she can transform from human form to mermaid form and then something else. So I don't know if that was like a surprise for you, and were you anticipating when that happened?
It was a surprise. That was one of the big shifts that kind of happened at the very end in one of the rewrites, is that I found out that I was even more than I thought that I was in the script, and that was very cool, and also a big challenge because I'm not a singer. I don't have like a strong voice, and so to have to go to those deep, loud, evil registers was a big challenge. And I have to say that after the first 4 hours that I recorded, my voice was, I called my friend and he was like, "Are you well? What's going on?" My voice was just...
Oh yeah, another, for me, exciting part is seeing the ocean and seeing just Ruby go through just all the different visuals. And what was that like, just coming up with that either through concept design or storyboards?
Yeah, that was, a big part of that story challenge was that a Kraken is so powerful. They're usually the ones that end movies. They're like slate wipers. And so the challenge really is that for a girl Kraken, a kaiju Kraken princess, we had to give them her challenges deserving. So that was a lot of things we'd be like, oh, what if she did this? And be like, oh, she could do that, no problem. She's a Kraken. Yeah. And so trying to create those things, those obstacles, those second act, obstacles that she needs to overcome.
Yeah.
The scale just kept going up, and our visual effects department and our design department was always there for the challenge because they love to go big whenever they can.
With Ruby in this one, she has the just the personality of just trying to belong, but then there's the new girl that's the popular one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you gravitate towards certain characters in the movie, like Ruby's friends or Chelsea.
I really gravitate towards, obviously gravitate towards Ruby, but I think Margot, Ruby's best friend, I just love her, and Liza is really amazing. But I think Margot is so fun because I'm someone who always is looking, I've always been I've always like leaned towards like bigger personalities than my own in terms of in terms of my own personal friendships. And so I think, and Margot is like just larger than life. So I think like I really, really like her character.
Being from Canada, there's a joke about being from Canada, and it's all right, you're from Canada.
Yeah.
So when you're watching that scene, how did that feel for you? Like, yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't like, I was strangely flattered by it because we are a bunch of weirdos up there, like proud weirdos.
Yeah.
And we do say a lot, okay? We do, and we're proud of it.
You turn things like kind of like a 180 with the character, the mermaid,
Yeah.
the Kraken. And so what was that like, just trying to just kind of ruin the image of mermaids?
Yeah, well, that was really fun because, it starts with the Kraken trope, right? Turning that one on its head. And then the mermaid had to have been the natural because it was all about a popular girl coming to school, right? That's the core of that part of her life, is trying to resolve what's happening in the high school. And so when we were playing around with it and you're looking at it and you go back to the sirens of yore, they were the ones on the rocks singing that song. And so it worked really well without the spoilers. But yeah, she's singing a song to Ruby. She is totally telling her what she wants to hear to lure her into her trap. And so that was really fun. And how much Annie brought to that and that turn in her performance without spoiling or giving it away, which really vocally, just changed everything for us.